Lo and behold, we wake up to a gap again. This market has really gotten volatile, and in some cases almost silly. This was this annoyed me yesterday, and maybe because I was annoyed because I didn't catch it right. But Trump goes, you know what? Within a few hours after tariffs are put on, he talks to Mexico, he talks to Canada later in the day. In a row, we're old friends again, and you guys have 30 days to figure out whatever he wants them to figure out. Fentanyl, uh, immigrants coming across the border. It's just his blustery way of operating, and it's going to continue to create volatility in the market, and we just have to deal with it. But you can see we moved 10 points yesterday, right? Because here's, what is this, 600 up here somewhere. Yeah, 600 with a low of 590.40. But then we have a gap here. I don't know. I guess it's because some of the retaliation that China did last night, because initially ES did start to move up when it opened yesterday and then rolled over and then bounced a little bit along here. Now seems to be moving back up again. You just have to be ready for volatility, right? Because that's what it's going to get. I drew a line through 597.93 because that is the actual closing price yesterday. I mean, we rolled over from 600, 3 points to close down almost 3 points from 632 to 597.77. So that's 230, 240 points. We're back over the closing price of yesterday right now. The pre-market high is right here. I know that's Jeff's favorite area to play on breakouts. The gap fill, depending on how you want to measure it, is either here at 630. So let's put a line there. Um, so some people consider that a gap fill, so you have to respect that. It also was the high here during regular trading hours yesterday, so I guess I would put a pretty good. I would give that a pretty significant. Let's see what happens at that area. Um, Behavior to it, trading behavior. Let's see what the price does when it gets to 625. We can see here it was all choppy, choppy, choppy up through that area, but that's what I would consider to be the gap fill right now. Since we're already trading over the 597.77, which is yesterday's closing price. On the downside, I think that's probably more important because to me, it's that the market will find any reason once bad news is off the table to buy, 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 buy. So I think you have to look for fade opportunities. I mean opportunities once the market has faded to buy and jump in, right? And the first one I'm thinking here is 594.50ish, right in this area, which is where a huge breakout occurred yesterday after pre-market back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if you'd played Jeff's strategy on a breakout above pre-market highs yesterday, you would have just taken this thing to the moon. This probably could have been depending on how many positions you played. If you played a 10 spot, you could have easily made probably $8,000 or $9,000 just on these two candles. That's what I'm thinking. But for today, I'm looking at two spots. I'm looking at this gap fill here, which is after our close yesterday, and I'm looking at this spot right here, which is pre-market highs of yesterday and the breakout. Right? If it breaks under here, I don't see any reason why we can't go right back down to 590 because the volume profile here has got to be really, really, really thin. Do I have a volume profile thing up here? Let me see. Yeah, I do. Actually, it's not as thin as I thought it was. So it could chop its way back down through there. Here's the volume profile. You can see heaviest buying right here, which probably happened. What is this? What are we on here? The 15 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's take a look what the volume profile looks there. Heaviest volume right there. I think that's probably when Trump made his announcement. Probably somewhere around there. I'd have to look to make sure. So let me take this off. If it gets back down through here, you would think it would fill fast just by looking at that candle. But if you take a look at the volume profile, tells a different story. So if it falls underneath here, I would say they could pop it back up at any point underneath here. It's the way the market's trading right now. This is an area that I would look to go take a long right here, 594.51. I'm going to put a alert at 594.63. Guys, put an alert at 594.63. Great. And I'm going to put an alert here, right here, 600, a little bit over 600. And let's see what happens when we get to those particular prices. That's the zone I think makes sense to trade today on the SPY. We already know some of the big movers today, Palantir, PLTR. You guys, for fun, you guys should take a look at the 2X Palantir. Went nuts. I think it's up 75 bucks or something like that. What a nice trade. Jeff's been on this, holding comment on this forever, so congrats to him. Let's take a look at NQ once really quick. I don't play the Qs, so this chart is kind of goofy. Globex high right here. Globex open and Globex high. Yesterday, 100 simple moving average. I don't give advice on the Qs because I don't play them, and I don't want to give advice on something I don't play. Actually, I'm not supposed to give advice at all because I'm not a financial advisor. But I don't opine on them. So right now, I have a line drawn right in the middle here, mostly because of the 50 SMA being right here, and mostly because this was an area that retested and held yesterday. So I would probably drop this line down. And plus it was the closing price of yesterday, 597.93. I just have it there for a reference. These are really the two numbers I'm looking at to trade today. Break above pre-market highs, if you play Jeff's strategy, is 598.50. Pre-market lows, 595.80. That's the strategy that he plays. I do sometimes. It depends on volume. I've gotten faked out more times than I can think of jumping on a trade up here, so you got to be able to be ready to close it quickly. But we're trading up green by 38 cents this morning, so everything is flat right now, waiting maybe for the JOLTS numbers, which come out at 9. So let's see what happens. I'm going to wait till the market opens. I'm going to let it get its legs before I make any decisions. To me, right now, it's trading mid-channel. So I don't see any reason to take a trade right out of the box on SPY or SPX. That's my thoughts on today.